Alright, it's been a little while. I've had some issues with the car Arise. One I knew about when I bought it. Little hesitant start when it's cold, which from research I could find out was a pressure regulator, and on these they're in the pump. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna, oh yeah, check out my nice fresh dent. Some lady in a parking lot decided that she needed to back up and not look behind her. So she lightly hit it the first time, then pulled forward, forgot to put it in park. It rolled back and hit it a second time, which it looked worse than that. I popped some of that out, but eventually I'm gonna remove the inside cowling, just get my hand back there, push it back, and then just, you know, jerry rig some spray on there to keep the rust down. So the first thing we're gonna do, let me make sure I'm screening out here. We're gonna pop the hood down meow. We're gonna go ahead and disconnect this battery because we're working on the fuel pump today. Oh, let me get this up. Give me just a second here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, bad video. So we're gonna get the battery disconnected first because we're dealing with the fuel pump. And it's a little iffy to have a phone around fuel, supposedly, but we'll just try to be easy. I got this off of Amazon. It's got somewhat decent ratings, but it is pretty friggin' generic. I will say that. Supposedly, it's gonna fix my issue, and we'll see on that. But in the box comes probably some generic instructions. Blah blah blah, and then a new gasket O-ring, and then the whole pump itself. I'm not sure why that plastic bag is in there, but we will get it out, go through it, click the float in place, make sure all the stuff's in place, and go from there. All right, I'll get set up here. Alright, after a little bit of investigation, the seat is as basic as pull up. There's two little pops, one there and one there. They sit on those little guys right there. And then I guess kind of pull it forward. This stuff will have to be fed through the holes. This can kind of be pulled out. Just take this guy up here. And we'll kind of feed that along as we go, but shove them down in the hose. Tell them what kind of goodies I'm gonna find under here. I haven't had this seat up. Oh my lord, it's a pen. We got a pen. Ooh, we got some Moonies. Put that in my pocket. A couple of them. All right, so the pump. Right there. So I'm gonna get this seat situated and get the camera set up, and we'll get that off. Alrighty. So we got all the stuff cleared out. Looks like we need a really skinny screwdriver if I can get it out of there. Oh, I just took the bolt off the seat belt. 16 millimeter, you got it. Just pull it through the seat. So those just twist. Probably just do it with your hands. That was pretty easy. And then this little guy pops up. And you'll need to take this connector out. So push down on the back side. Ooh, that's dirty. This is a dirty girl. Alright, I'm gonna need to either you're gonna take a vacuum or a leaf blower. I've got a leaf blower, so I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna go get that and then blow this thing out. Okay, I went ahead and grabbed my hammer, screwdriver, this little gizmo. I gotta get the fuel line off. I'll do that. Yeesh, you do that in a minute. Alright, excuse me if we're gonna get stuff everywhere. not too bad. I just break everything up around it. Same around this fuel line. Look, that thing is dirty. It's blowing most of the dust under the car, which is great. It's got one of those. Alright. So the clip mechanism, you've got these little holders on the sides here. Those have to be pressed in. Don't remember, I don't think I've got that tool. So I'm just going to have to use the old screwdriver. And there could be a little bit of pressure on this. So I'll push that one in. Kind of hold it back on this side. Push this side in, maybe. There it goes. So you just press in the clips on each side. Take that off. We'll just take that fuel line, kind of shove it out of the way for now. And well, and it looks to me we've got to twist that ring. We'll check the camera angle here. Yeah, looks good. So there's some little bumps on this ring that you can sometimes use for your screwdriver. And like on my fuel pump replacement on the Armada, you kind of usually got to work yourself around these. Let's see how she does here. Let's try off the little ears. So the ear, it's moving. Ooh, but they bend easy. Lock's not gonna work. Okay. So don't be hitting off the ears. They seem to bend. There is a little notch on the side. Looks like you can hit. Oh yeah, that's the way to do it. This is probably gonna take some time. I'll probably be cutting out a lot of this in the video. This is seems like a plastic tank, so be careful with your screwdriver. Hot dog, hot dog. Hot diggity dog. Hard to get to some of this. Not the most comfortable thing in the world. Let's see here. Put that over there. Yeah, I would say be real careful with the screwdriver. You do not want to punch a hole in the top of this gas tank. Loosening up a lot of stuff. I'm trying to think if there's a better way for this. If I had one of those tools, I have a tool that's got the fingers on it. They just go on top of here and they twist, but I don't do this often enough to think I need it. Tough. Very, very tough. Oh, I keep knocking up a lot of dirt. Whoops. Well, let's just turn that off for now. Well, boys and girls, I'm going to suggest on this particular situation, it would be better to have the ring removal tool than using the screwdriver. Simply because of how much plastic's around it. I've had to be so careful not to go into the plastic. And this ring is pretty tough. Almost got it. Been working on it for at least 10-15 minutes. There. She's off. But that was not easy and a little bit scary as well. I'm just going to move it like that. Oh! Here comes the pump. Okay. Try to let it drain because fuel is precious at this time. It's kind of expensive. And this float. And honestly, if you're going to do this, let's just wait till you get about a quarter tank, because this tank's almost full. Well, it's at least 3/4 full, which has been splashing a lot of fuel around. And that right there is your fuel pressure regulator, and that's where the problem lies. As cheap as these pumps are, if you're going to go this far, you might as well just replace the thing. Now, I'm going to go get a paper towel and clean up some of that crap. Oh, gosh. And hope that's the right pump. Okay, pump is out. Here's our old pump. And I thought maybe it's missing a spring, because this one has 2 springs on it here. This only has 1, but I think that's factory. I went ahead and felt around in the tank and couldn't find it, so I guess maybe it's only got 1. I don't know. That's a little strange to me, but looks like a good match. What I would suggest when you take these out of the package, obviously you got to assemble this part on this particular pump. You got to pop it in here. I had to use a little screwdriver to back it a little bit to get some pressure on it because it wouldn't clip, but it's in there. Check your connectors, make sure they're tight, press them all in, even the one on the pump. Make sure everything's nice and tight before we go stick it in the tank. Make sure any plugs that might be on there was a blue. There it is. So this one had a little blue plug. I assume this is the return for the fuel. I don't know for sure. Just pull it off. Make sure it's out of your tank or off your pump. And I think that's it. Leave that cap on till you're fully installed again. That way you keep any contaminants out. And yeah, I'll get set back up. We're gonna stick it in place and check your O-ring size too. This is the one provided. She looks right. Gonna be a little tight to get in there, but should work. All right, I'll get set back up. Alrighty then. So be cautious putting it back. Make sure you don't knock your O-ring off its seal seat. This O-ring's almost, seems like it's a tad small, but I think it'll compress once I get in there. So just be kind of gingerly with it. Make sure the float device gets in first. What am I hitting? Oh! Got that little tube on the end there. Oh boy. It's a tight fit right there. Okay, so just be gentle. And that float's making stuff a little difficult. The float arm. So I may have to shove it. There you go. Got to shove it back and then come down in. There it goes. So got to finagle with that one a little bit. Okay. So obviously the same orientation as when how it came out. Make sure your seal's still sitting up on the flange all the way down. Give it a little press. Okay. Take this ring and transfer it straight back over, keeping pressure down on the pump. Make sure all your tabs engage. Ooh. And then back to tippity tap tap tippity two and get it back to where it was. So that everything else again pretty much in reverse order. And I'll do a little startup. We'll see how it goes. So I'll get back to you guys in a few minutes. Quick thing before we end off this video. Don't forget to remove the retaining clip for your fuel line before you pitch your pump. I would assume you'll have your old one with you while you're still doing this, but just don't forget to get that. You have to take that dude, stick it on here, clip it, take your fuel line, line it up, make sure both clips clip, which they have done. Okay, so that's on. So I'm just gonna hook up the wiring junk and then we'll do a startup. Alright, one issue with the aftermarket pump, connector is flipping tight. So you might have to kind of push it on, pull it off, clean it out, push it back on again. I think I got it. We're gonna find out here in just a second. Oh yeah, I gotta reconnect the battery too. Well, that shouldn't take but just a second if I can find out what I do with my grounding lead. Alright, that's on. Tighten this little dude up. When you disconnect these, just disconnect the ground. That's good. You don't need to get cray-cray with everything. Okay. And since it'll be a dry startup, the pump's probably gonna need to be primed twice. Hope I can hear it. I can't hear it with all that stuff on. I didn't hear anything. That's not a good sign. Well, there it goes. And that little guy? Don't worry about that little guy. Well, it appears to be working. Man, I could hear the old pump. I couldn't hear this. I can't hear this one, so I guess that old one was going out. So, it's again. By the way, if you want to know about the check engine light. So, I had the video with the O2 sensor. Didn't fix my problem. So I changed out the cat. And I didn't do a video on that because it was an aftermarket and it needed some modification to get it to work. That didn't fix it either. So at this point, got a new cat, new oxygen sensor. It's either the last sensor on the end, which I heard is not really that critical. I'm probably just gonna live with it. I don't want to spend any more money on that, trying to chase that crap. So if that bothers you, I'd just take it to a pro and have them maybe somehow check that last sensor. I don't know. Maybe I'll eventually change it. I haven't decided, but meanwhile, seems to be running. Let's turn it off. Sheet back on. Okay, I got the connector connected. Alright, hope this helps you all out. If you need to change your pump, there's other videos out there, same process, but I guess it's just preference on who you want to listen to. So good luck with it if you take it on. That ring is kind of a pain. I would suggest if you can get the tool, maybe borrow it from a mechanic you might know, or AutoZone, or make one. Screwdriver method works, but I don't suggest it so much just because the tank is all plastic. But if you're handy with it, good luck. Alright guys, we'll catch you later.